Good morning. Welcome to our Wednesday webinar series. My name is Vanessa and I'm the International Recruitment Manager here at London International Academy. Each week, the admissions department will be hosting a free webinar every Wednesday for you to register for and receive information on different topics. Hear from guest speakers, including our own LIA alumni. So for those of you joining us today, no matter if you are a student, a parent, you're registered for September, we hope that everyone will be able to take something away from this informational session today. So thank you for joining us today. Next week, we'll be hosting our webinar to speak about high school in Canada and the benefits of coming to Canada for pre-university. So in today's webinar, we will be going over everything to do with the STEM program at LIA. So I'd first of all like to introduce Mr. William Neal, who is our very passionate and dedicated director of the STEM program here at LIA. Mr. Neal has been at LIA since 2011. He is originally from North Bay, Ontario. Previously, he's worked at the School of the Nations in Guyana, South America, before coming back to London area and working for other private schools along with Western University. Mr. William Neal has an extensive international background and has traveled to over 25 countries and speaks French, Spanish, German, Mandarin, and has a wide variety of other interests in other languages. So thank you for joining us, William. So we hope to only take around about 15 to 20 minutes just to go through our slides and just a general overview of the STEM program. And then we will have time for questions at the end. And if you do have questions, please put them in the Q&A chat box and we will answer them at the end of the presentation. And you can also see that there are questions posted in the poll. So please feel free to use that as a way. We'll answer some of those questions as well. And then you can use that poll as a way of asking those questions. So let's get started. Just in general, William, do you want to just introduce the STEM program to those who have no idea maybe what STEM is and maybe what you're doing in the classes here, maybe what the students will be learning and what they'll be doing?
So good morning, good afternoon, good evening to our guests from around the world. My name is William Neal, as Vanessa has introduced. Thank you very much, Vanessa. In 2011, I took my son to a farm where they were building farm equipment by collaborating online and sharing designs and then prototyping it and creating it right there. And after 2 weeks on the farm, I noticed that I was telling friends that, wow, my son learned more in 2 weeks than in all the years of his schooling. And then I stopped and thought, well, why should that be? Should not children learn in school? And this really got me thinking about how children learn and how schools have become largely paper and pencil exercises, not developing capabilities, insights, and commitment to the betterment of the world, but rather commitment to high marks and just fitting into some kind of system. And based on that experience, I started a few projects with my students here at London International Academy, the first of which was a 3D printing project. It proved so popular, the students made their own printer, and it started to grow from there. And then the program gradually grew to incorporate classes, extracurricular activities, international STEM camps, a connection with Western University and teaching there. And it was really a remarkable process. I find that initiative grows like a plant. If you lovingly nurture it and with a purpose and involve other people in it, it starts to grow. And that's how the STEM program grew. And the results have been many hundreds of very happy students who have done very well at their university studies and in their other classes here at LIA. And we even have enough statistics now to show that the students who have participated in our STEM program, very active learning activities, they outperform the other students quite readily on things like lab exercises and even their paper and pencil tests. And so there's a huge amount of sort of experience now built up at London International Academy to bring this meaningful educational process beyond the STEM program. And now we are also growing arts and business branches of this kind of approach in our school. The STEM program is, we just had a little introduction to it. It's now in a 1,000-square-foot makerspace, and we have designs now for the entire floor to be a STEM-oriented sort of makerspace, open classroom concept here at our school. And one of the features of our program is that when class ends and extracurricular begins, no one notices, because the students don't look at their watches and just run out of the classroom at the end of the class. They're so engaged, they will stay beyond the class time. And that's one of my metrics. If the average attendance of a class is over 100%, then we know we're doing something right. And for the last several years, we've had many visitors to our classes on a regular basis, on a daily basis. And sometimes my attendance has been averaging over 100% of the expected number of participants. And we have a few guiding principles here. We're looking at meaningful education that makes an impact in our community. The students must shape the curriculum, and there must be some kind of coherence so that we're not spending our energies here or there, but we're working on an overall project. And these have really effectively helped us to create interesting and engaging programming. So now, it doesn't only involve students, we've also had teachers and teacher candidates at the university involved in STEM camps, in classes, and in curriculum. And here's our robotics team. They would often work well into the evening time, have supper together, build a community together, and then continue building their robots and exercising their great talents in a interdisciplinary and teamwork-oriented sort of experience. There's our first 3D printer. And it started as a microwave stand, our STEM program, and then steadily grew from there. And through the entire process, we've developed teamwork skills, problem solving, planning ahead, and even online collaboration with other groups around the world. And this has grown with the STEM program as well. We have CAD and 3D design built into our curricular activities in calculus class, in computer engineering class, in computer science class, and so on. And there are even artistic connections to what we can do with our CAD. We use it to design our robots, to print out 3D printed objects, and to create other devices for other classes and for other teachers. Lots of online collaborative literacy. We have partnered with an organization in the United States where we have done 3D printing workshops and shared our students' work online with a global audience. One of my favorite projects ever has been the 3D printed brushless motor. It goes around 2,000 to 3,000 RPM. We didn't measure it, but it's about the same as a spinning car engine. And it was designed and completely built here in our classroom as part of a computer engineering class and as part of extracurricular activities. And the students were extremely committed to it, and you can just see from their faces they were highly satisfied when they finally got it finished. And it was a really great experience. In our STEM camps, we've had live coding as one of the ways to do an interdisciplinary approach to music and computer programming, for example. Each supports the other intellectually and cognitively when we connect them together. And live coding, we change the computer code in real time and the music changes in real time. And so that's a very engaging sort of process. And what we might call STEAM, that's the addition of arts into a STEM program. We've built our own custom electronics board. Here is a project where students are building a circuit board for a musical instrument. And we developed the capability here in our lab to design and build such boards. You can see the original paper designs, which are photocopied and became the 3D or the etched circuits. And we used a chemical process in collaboration with our chemistry teacher in order to get these boards made. Our FRC robotics team has been an extremely engaging activity, not only for me, our students as well. It became a huge part of my job from 2016 until present. And our team has done an incredible sort of achievement as they reached the finals in Toronto the last time we competed before the pandemic. And we don't even have any engineers or mentors on our team. This was all through the students' efforts, and we reached the finals. And this is competing against teams that are supported by large automotive companies. And the degree of the commitment of our students has been really remarkable. They also won the Spirit Award at that same competition. They've integrated their operations with international STEM camps. As you see in this photo, some students are from Guyana visiting and working alongside our team in the creation of the robot. So really, really rich activities connected with our classes, connected with our extracurricular activities, and connected around the world. So an interdisciplinary approach of project-based learning with community connections, we have found this is a recipe for incredible educational outcomes, and our statistics are backing it up here. And now we're expanding, of course, into business and the arts as the success in the STEM has led in this direction. Some examples here are some very artistic connections that are possible by combining computer programming, physics, and mathematics. And during the pandemic in the last year, we developed a lot of such programming where we can visualize our mathematical equations, having computer program them, not just merely using some gadget online or some fancy software that someone else wrote. These are activities that are done by the students, and that makes a huge difference in the learning outcome. It's very satisfying, and then they end up using these computer programs in their other classes and are able to understand the much deeper material. It even goes into university level material without too much difficulty as the students are so engaged. We have a foundation running out of our STEM program here, and we offer activities and programming for local community groups, youth nights, STEM camp, day camp kind of arrangements. And we were just building momentum before the pandemic and can't wait to continue. We've only had one STEM camp in the last little while. But as things open up, we will surely have many more, in person anyway. So there is a summary of our STEM program. And if we look around the world, there are many parts of the world that are in a crisis, and education has played a role in this crisis. Our global civilization demands decisive action, and we at the LIA STEM program are doing our very best to contribute to constructive discourse and action in the realm of education, involving really exciting and challenging and effective programming for our students. And we hope that you will join us here at London International Academy. Thank you very much. And we would be very happy to answer any questions you may have.
Yeah, let's take a look at either some questions. You kind of just went over pretty much most of the questions, but maybe if we can get specific about what type of activities do the STEM students do inside and outside the classroom? So, just in general, inside, what would be like the, 3 activities that you can kind of name that students would do inside the classroom, maybe like on a daily kind of classroom basis, or and then also outside. I know that they do a lot of stuff together in groups. We'll have barbecue nights or whatever, that kind of thing.
I think one of the elements that we miss in our educational programming is this idea that the human mind is immensely powerful and should be carefully nurtured and drawn along the lines of a commitment to the betterment of society. And if we just go through school and follow the tests and exam kind of pattern, we fall into kind of a lull in terms of the development of the human mind. We're only focused on these percentage results on these exams. So putting that all aside, we start our programming here with conversations with the students. We must get to know the students. Each student is individual. We do not expect them all to have the exact same outcome. In fact, that would be very tragic if that were the case. This McDonald's style education is extremely harmful. And instead, we just have a conversation about their interests and about, well, what do we have in our current situation that would help you to further your interests? And that's where the 3D printer started. And then the next year, when the new students arrive, they see what the previous year students did. And one of 2 things may happen. They may continue the project, as some of them do, or they'll select a new project. And that's where FRC Robotics came out. our FarmBot, our Theremin, our electronic circuits, our 3D printed, artistic achievements, and also the 3D printed motor, our STEM camps, and so many different activities have all come out of these conversations. We either build on what others have done or add something new into the mix. And it creates an ecosystem of learning. And then our activities that go along with that, we'll have social activities. We'll go for hikes in the forest. We'll have a coffee house in the evening, let the students do some artistic sort of outlet to their energies and discuss the deeper meaning of education. In our program, we've developed a very clear language around what is education and what is training. And we have all too much training in our society. There's plenty of training, but if we look carefully at the definition of education, we have lost sight of what education is. It involves the individual and developing and nurturing their talents from inside, not imposing them from without by shaping them with these tests and exams.
Yes.
I don't know if that answers the question, Vanessa. Maybe there's some.
Yeah, I think that answers the question. We have another question here. Does the STEM program go towards the credit, like towards an OSSD credit, or is it an extracurricular activity?
It is both. And it turns out that the extracurricular element supports the achievement within the credits. And the students who have fully immersed in the STEM program have outperformed their peers. There were several students in the photographs there that had achieved high 90s in all of 4 of their STEM courses, as they all support each other and they're coherent with the extracurricular activity. And most of the time, you'll find the students are exhausted because they want to do so much. They want to be involved socially, they want to have an extracurricular activity, and they want to do very well. And each one of these things competes. Well, we shape that situation by allowing a coherent support between STEM activities and the credits. So yes, indeed, there are credits involved, and the STEM program allows the students to achieve a very high level outcome in these credits.
Next question, is there a summer STEM program open for Canadian students who normally study in their own school in a standard academic year but want to learn STEM at LIA?
Yes, and we had this last summer. We introduced an online component last summer due to the pandemic. We have a program wherein we visit high school mathematics from grade 9 to grade 12 in a 20-hour sort of accelerated course using computer programming and coding and capturing the essence of high school mathematics. We go from calculating slopes to doing calculus and use computer programming as a support. And many of those images you saw were developed in the subsequent course where we took it all further. So this is available to Canadian students and international students. We had 33 students from 12 countries participate in that program over the summer. And then this summer, as conditions allow, we will either have in-person or online or a little bit of both. So there will definitely be something offered this summer. It's just the question as to the exact format, and that's up to the government authorities and their handling of the thing.
Yeah, right now it's looking more like we're going to be hosting another virtual camp or course and trying to make that as interactive as possible over the summer, just due to the fact that there will be still quarantine regulations that students would have to follow once they come into the country. So we're not sure about international students just yet about coming in. However, the virtual program will be hosted and we'll be able to allow obviously Canadian students who are already here into that. The next question is, STEM program belongs to the IB program?
There's a very interesting question. We have many of the IB students do their creativity, activity, and service aspects of their curriculum in the STEM program. The STEM program in itself would be impossible within the IB curriculum because the IB curriculum provides so many requirements for the student, it scatters their energies. And the STEM program depends on this notion of coherence, which we have lost in our society, the focusing of the human mind on a single point. In this case, it may be the robotics club or building a 3D printer or something around which we build the curricular activities and the curriculum. And so the IB program has a sort of a symbiotic relationship with the STEM program, where the students are able to join as part-time members of our STEM program. But the full impact of the STEM program can only be achieved from within the Ontario curriculum, as it's the only one that's flexible enough to achieve that.
Mm-hmm. Is there a cost to the STEM program, or?
There are some additional costs if the students would like to attend the full program, but there are different levels. Certain clubs and activities are open to everyone. And the
like the
full
DECA competition.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the DECA competition is a extra cost due to the fact that travel requirements to get there, entry into the competition. So if they want to enter any of those kind of competitions, which is completely optional, there would be extra fees involved in that. The next question is, how long does the STEM program last? So the full year, or?
Yeah, in recent years, the way that we have done it for grade 12s, they're fully enrolled in the STEM program, and that's the full impact year. Some students from grade 10 and 11 have been allowed to participate, and in some cases it has been free, depending on what they're doing. They end up becoming the leaders of the robotics team or the 3D printing club or something next year. And so there's a really effective educational process when you allow it to happen for multiple years. The students who are here the longest have achieved the greatest outcomes and gone on to do incredible things in university. So that's well backed up by experience.
Mm-hmm. So next question, just to clarify, the registration for STEM program is to be through the registration to the main school gate or grade, correct? So is there a grade associated with the STEM program? So
I think grading is an artificial construct of educational authorities, and I've been involved in many multi-age events both inside and outside of school. Last year, a good case in point, we had a grade 8 student who was investigating whether to attend London International Academy. He attended my grade 12 computer engineering class and was immersed right into the robotics club and the class as a result. So this year, when we had our one and only community STEM workshop, he actually led the entire workshop. I didn't have to do anything. He taught the entire thing to the local grade 8 students as a grade 9 student. And so there's an incredible value to doing some of these things at a younger age. The leadership skills, the insight, and the commitment to helping others is really evident in these students.
So yeah, I guess just in general, the registration for the STEM program would be through the main registration admissions department. So that would be through our department, and you would just apply exactly the same way, obviously making reference that you want to be a part of either the STEM club or be a part of STEM classes. And it would all be done through the same, and we would essentially try to put them with other students, either with their maybe academic ability, but we typically don't limit it to that. They could be in a class, like William said, with a grade 9 student who is above and beyond the grade 9 level. So they'll be with a variety of different students, which kind of opens up the
We're also getting more applicants from grade 9 and 10 recently. So as that happens, that will open up opportunities to have more formal programming at that age. And based on experience, by the time they get to grade 11 or 12, it is possible to get really great scholarship opportunities and quite a strong recognition for their achievement. And this is from some of the things we used to do at my previous school. And so this will be a great opportunity for LIA moving forward, as we have now grade 9, 10, 11, and 12 in grade 11.
So that kind of goes into the next question. What's the earliest grade an international student should be entering to take part in the STEM program? So grade 9 is the earliest, and welcome to join. They might be a part of a group that maybe has a grade 11 or grade 12 in it. Yeah, like Mr. William said, we're having more grade 9 and 10s join this. So next year we're hoping for a bigger cohort. Typically, we see a lot of grade 11 and 12s, but this is open to the younger grades as well. So grade 9, to answer that question. Okay, is there any other questions that need to be answered? I think those were some pretty good questions, eh, William?
Yeah.
Yes, those are very good. Okay, so if no one else has any questions, the conversation does not need to stop here. Please contact us at admissions, and we will be happy to answer any questions to do with registration, any of the fees involved, scholarships, anything like that. So I will leave our email here below. And please feel free to follow up that way as well. Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Neal. I really appreciate you going through the program, and I think that was very informative. Yes, so thank you very much. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and thank you so much for attending our webinar.
Take care. Have a great day. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.